Good morning. In the very early morning, I wanted to recall all the things, you know, related to Hollywood movie. It's not about just one movie, there are many movies. And you know what the interesting part is, uh, you know, hacking. So, what do you do if someone is hacking your network? If your money is there, you really don't have any clue about it. Who is hacking your network? Right? How do you able to identify your network has been hacked? And you know what? There is nothing called mysterious in this world. There is nothing as such described as mysterious. There is only one thing. You are not able to describe it. And that is already, uh, told by many saints, sages. But that is also very simple, easily explainable, but unseen, unheard. You know, uh, you can't define it. That is called God, right? But I'll tell you a story. It's one of the Hollywood story. It's like somehow a person's network got hacked and the person is able to identify the source, but he was not sure about the reason behind it because his money was there, everything was there in place, but in his house everything is getting changed, everything goes wrong, everyone is facing some sort of trouble. His parents, his family, the whole family is suffering from some sort of uh, invisible thing. So he wanted to know about the reason. And just imagine, is there anything called mysterious? There is nothing other than the God and the ghost. There is nothing called mysterious. If something is happening, if that is not identifiable, then as a matter of fact, that is masked by the government. That is the only thing can happen. If the government is having the authority over the person's life, then they can do anything with the person's life. They can take control over of the whole world of that person, related to that particular person. By the way, why do they want to do that? Okay, something is happening with the person's life, so that the government wants to, uh, you know, unfold those things. That's understandable. But it's going for years. And the person was able to identify the reason. And it's not just the people related to the, government. It's more than that. And the people in the, it's not just about the people ruling or, it not just related to cabinet. It's all about, the people related to politics, but uh, they are holding the whole, authority over that person. And they took control over each and everyone in the in his life related to all the relations, friends, relations, like everyone, all relatives under scanner, all friends under scanner, and they are rewriting the person's story, and they are putting the person wherever he wanted to go. I mean, the person knows that he knows about himself, and he knows about the browsing history, and he knows about the whole thing what he wants to do. So all of a sudden the person's life is getting connected with the places where he wants to go. And that itself is giving the huge clue about the source. But the person was not able to get the clear picture because he was in some other state. But the things are happening in some other place. So the person was not able to correlate and identify the real cause behind all the mishaps. So the person got really confused. So who else is able to do something dangerous? They kill many people related to the person, as well as they killed their pet dog brutally just because they have some doubts. They killed their pet dog too, and it is unimaginable. So the person was, and the person was repeatedly talking about one thing, that I identified your work a decade ago. But the people having the background, the political sort of thing, they are not able to accept the fact. They are not ready to accept the fact. And also, they are in some other state, and the things were happening in some other state. So, around the person's life, there are n number of forces working behind the person. And he was able to identify each and everything. Year by year, he was able to identify many themes. And he was so confused. And he was trying to acknowledge and he was trying to convey the message, but it was not happening. Because, if at all, in this story, in this Hollywood movie, if at all, if there is a story, something like, they did not take this movie, but it is somehow, they wanted to produce this movie, and some script was written somewhere. I don't remember the website, but the story is like this. The person was able to identify the hackers, and then he knows about the source. But the things are happening that is quite different. I mean, it's all scattered in many states. They are connecting many states, and they are making movies out of the person's life. So, he is seeing himself. He is not at all seeing himself, but only the actions. So, he is getting the clue that someone is watching him. Then he is really got confused. What's going on? And the things are happening on the background, but all of a sudden the movies are, acting, reflecting his actions. And he is quite delusional. He's gone mad. And then one thing is very clear. He got the source. So that is not wrong. That is true. The system is hacked. But the money is there. But the things from his house were gone. There are many things gone, and it's appearing on the screen. All of his friends, relatives, all of a sudden, somehow, the people connected with his life appearing on the screen. Real people on the real screen. And he was not able to get anything. He was not able to correlate the whole thing. And it's happening for years. So, would you please let me know who is able to do? This is sort of some riddle. Can you open the riddle? So, what do you do if you are in that position? That is first thing. Second thing is, the people are sitting and doing the thing, watching the person in other state. They are physically not present in that person's state. I'm talking about the region. They are sitting in some other region, but the people are doing, at the same time he is facing many scenarios. First thing is facing the issues in his life that is happening in his region where he is there. Then someone is watching, no, and they are making movies that is related to the person's mother tongue. That is quite, he was so shocked. And they are making some other stories. And he is observing each and everything. And then he found that someone is watching him. Then he came to know that there are many people watching him. And everyone is interested to make story on their own. And the basic concept is all of them entered into the person's life, including the investigation team. All of a sudden, they have entered into the person's life. But the people having the political background, not letting these officials to do their work. So the conflict is, it's quite mind-blowing, and it is happening. The person is getting stuck at one point because it's going on. It's so profound. It's dragging, and no one is interested to solve the problem because they took control of each and everyone in his family. The person is getting isolated, and his pet dog also gone. And the people having the political background, they are not caring about any law and order. They are simply, having the control over the person's relatives, friends, and they are threatening the person. And the officials in other state where he is currently residing at, they are also not having any clue about anything because the people having the political background masking it. So it's really, the people having the political background really pressurizing the person every day as the way they receive the information. But they are not studied for it. They are not capable of doing the investigation. They are simply threatening the person, and they killed his pet dog too. So the person is totally isolated from his own family. So would you please let me know who is able to do this sort of thing, why they want to do it? Just imagine, instead of the male, if there is a female. So what is the possible reason behind the doings? So obviously they want to marry that woman, right? So they are doing that thing because they want to marry the woman. But that's my imagination. It's a story, please. I'm giving you the riddle, and it's a game sort of thing. I had a dream. I saw this, one scene in my dream, and all of a sudden I recalled the whole story. So I just wanted to tell you. And they are holding the authority over the person's life. So the government is having the whole authority over each and everyone around the person. So how the person is able to prove something, and they are putting the blame on the person. And there is law and there is something called court. They are not bothering about it. They are simply acting on impulse based on their perception. And also they were physically not present in that region. They are sitting and watching something in some other region. So can you correlate it? Is that justifiable? Or if you are in that position, like you came to the person's life for something, and all of a sudden you saw many things in the person's life, and you are not able to correlate it. So and after all you got the authority, so you are threatening the person. So how, the story is very interesting, right? But it's happening for more than a decade. The person is getting isolated and clueless, and they are making the person to believe that it's all delusional, and it's an illusion. But the person is having the record, all the records, and he knows what's happening. He is able to analyze, perceive, analyze, and able to absorb the truth out of it. But it took years. It took 5 years to identify the sources. The people, not the sources, the people. And they are from different, they are having different backgrounds. And all of a sudden, can you allow someone, who is just 24 years, 25 years old, and not eligible for the investigation? Can you allow the person to do anything? Can you give the law to his hands? And would you let the person to do anything with anyone just because he is having the political background? Just because he got the political background, he is able to buy the people wherever the person lives right now. And he is doing the same thing just because he perceived something. So how could you justify that? That's based on his perception that is created by the person, because the person knows that the system got hacked. And this person having the political background is coming from the other region in the same country. So the person is able to, the person is able to identify the sources but unable to identify the, invisible forces. The force and source is identifiable, the force is unidentifiable. Then it took years to realize the whole thing. It took nearly 5 years. And then the person is ready to face the reality. And he faced the reality. But the person was a fool, because he knows about the consequences, because the government, the political forces having the, they have the whole authority. The person failed to know about, failed to realize that point. And he faced the reality, and the forces having the political background torturing the person as well as his family again for 5 years. And they are running all the roadshow as per their perception, as per the information received, because they hacked. And I will talk about the many things. It's a big story. It's like, you can take series 1, series 2, series 3, because the story is happening for 11 years. So the person, instead of escaping from the situation, the person was very honest and acknowledged the situation and faced the reality. But the people having the political background, they had the different mentality. They are simply forcing the person and blaming the person for nothing. Likewise, the story is going on. So I already told you about many stories, and this is one of the Hollywood story. So I'm missing my pet, and at the same time I just recall the story because there is a story about the dog in that person's life, and they killed that dog brutally because they suspected the person having the connection with some group, and they poisoned the dog, and they paralyzed the dog and they killed him brutally. So all of a sudden I just recalled the loss of the pet in my life as well as in that person's life in that Hollywood story. I just wanted to convey that. It's not going to help you, but you know what? If you're going to take a movie, you can come and meet me. I can give you the screenplay, and also if you let me to direct a movie, I can do it. That will be quite, that will win all the Oscars. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.